to the radio. This is your host, Ray, the motivator. For we inspire to go higher. Come on in. Bring the freedom.
Yep, it's that time again.
What's on your mind? Here you can find whatever you need. This is for the rare person. It's the razor wire.
It's the razor wire.
The razor wire.
The razor wire.
The razor wire. Yeah.
Getting into your soul. So you can take control.
Yeah. Ain't no rush.
Ain't no fuss.
Ain't no fuss. It's just us. So let's get to it and do it.
Let's get to it and do it.
Right here.
Right here.
On the razor wire.
The razor wire. The razor wire. Yo. Back once again for another episode of The Razor Wire. And this is your host, Ray, the motivator. For those that aspire to go higher. And today's topic is growing up. You got to grow up. It's something you got to do. But how do you do it? What's going on, Jay? We just getting started over here on The Razor Wire. Talk about growing up. And when I talk about growth, this is something that you can't do without adding something to yourself. So if you want to grow up, and we're just not talking about age, we're talking about maturity. And maturity doesn't come with age. Maturity is a sign of growth. It's something that you add to yourself to help yourself grow up. Now, life can teach us a whole bunch of lessons, but are we learning them? That's the question. Because there's some people in this world that's 50 plus years old, but they still as childish as they were when they was in high school. So it's time to grow up. So, as we journey into this topic on the Razor Wire, if you got a comment that you want to share, go ahead, type it in the chat. If you got a question, post it up, and I'll be sure to answer that question. For those of you who are on Blog Talk Radio, on the internet, if you want to call into the show and speak to this subject of growing up, that's my dog Mindy in the background. The number to call in is 323-642-1165. You can call in and have your voice heard right here on the Razor Wire. And what we do over here, we build in a community of like-minded people who aspire to go higher, who want to take their life to another level. And you got to do that by growing. You got to grow out of the mind state that you're in right now, the position that you're in right now, to another one. And you can't grow without adding something to yourself. It's just as simple as 1 + 1 = 2. If you got $1, you can't grow that dollar unless you got another dollar. It's just as simple as that. For those who coming in, I appreciate you joining me here on the Razor Wire, and we talk about growth. So the first key element to growth is addition. You have to add something to yourself. And in order to add something to yourself, you need to know what it is that you need to add. So what is it that you're lacking? Could be a question. What's something that you're lacking? What area of your life do you want to enhance? That's the first part of growth. Identifying what area that you need to grow in. because it's essential. It's essential that you add something to yourself if you want to grow. You got to add something. This takes some contemplation on your part. What do you want to add to yourself? Do you want to grow financially? Do you want to grow mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Do you want to grow to just a more mature person? A more calm person? A more rational person? A more intellectual person? You can do it. It's possible. But you can't do it with the things that you already have. You have to enhance it. You have to add something to it. What I do is I read. I read books to add to my wealth of knowledge. And not only do I read, I apply what's in the book. Because it's one thing to have a bunch of knowledge, but it's another thing to use it. And how do you use it? You apply it. When I read a book, and the latest book that I've been reading is The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. A very powerful book for anybody who want to grow in any area of your life, because everybody has a mind. Everybody has a mind, but do you control it? Do you control your mind? Or is your mind at the subject of everything that's around you? Are you influenced by everything that you see, everything that you hear, everything that you look at? And my suggestion is that you are influenced by it to one degree or another. But if you want to enhance who you are, you want to grow yourself, then take a conscious effort and add something to yourself. If you want to be more financially astute, more financially conscious, if you want to make financial gains, you have to add some financial information to your life. It's essential. This is how you grow. You just can't expect it to come by osmosis. People who lift weights, they don't just get big because they think about getting big. And this is a place where a lot of us get stuck. We think. We're constantly thinking, but we're not doing. So let's do something about it. Grow up. Let's grow up. As individuals and as a community. Let's grow up. Let's find a place in ourselves where we can grow. What do you want to grow? What is it that you want to grow? We have a lot of questions about life, about beliefs. And let me tell you something about what you believe. What you believe and what you think about will grow. If you think about problems, your problems will grow. If you think about positive things, then positive things will grow. Positive thoughts will grow in your mind. Now you may ask yourself, well, how do I give myself a positive thought? There are millions and millions of books that you can read on positivity. You know what a positive thought is. It's the opposite of a negative thought. Stop saying that you're broke. And saying that and saying that what you don't have, and say what you do have. I have the ability to gain finances. Say that. Say that I have a creative mind and I will discover a way to increase my finances. Tell yourself that. This is how you grow, because you are directly influencing your own mind with your own thoughts. Because this is something that's happening every day, regardless of if you're conscious or aware of it or not. Every commercial that you look at, every television program that you look at, every song that you hear, every conversation that you have, is influencing you in one way or another. It's taking your thoughts in a certain direction. Just like this conversation right here. It's geared to take your thought in a certain direction. And that direction is for those that aspire to go higher. Higher than where you currently are. Wherever that is for you. And I'm not saying that this is something that you have to do, but if this is something that you want to do, then this is the place for you. Right here on the razor wire. Let me take a pause for a second. We got and let me tell you about my latest venture. I got razor tees. You can check my page and check out the hot new colors that I got for these razor tees. You need to cop them. The proceeds go to increasing this community right here. Having some different guests come on the show and share with you their motivation, their inspiration, and their transformation. What makes them tick and what makes them grow. And I'm quite sure it's something that you can glean from that. So check them out, the razor tees. They hot. I should have on one today, but I got my Good Vibes shirt on because that's what I'm all about. I'm about those positive vibrations. When you send out positive energy comes back to you, which is another key, which is another clue. Two of my key phrases. One is success leaves clues, and number two is for those that aspire to go higher. And they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. Success leaves clues for those that aspire to go higher. So if you're looking, if you're seeking, this is a place where you can find some clues to success. And the clue that I'm dropping on you today is grow up. Grow up. Grow up from that old mindset that you had when you was 15, 20, 30 years old. You got to grow up from that. You got to expand from that. And how do you do it? You got to add information to yourself. It sounds very simple, but it takes some discipline as well, because you've spent 20, 30, 40, 45 years dealing with a certain mentality that grew you into who you are now. And if you want to take yourself from where you are to another place, you're going to have to do something different. You're going to have to think different. You're going to have to act different. You're going to have to add some new information to your life in order to grow. And that's what life is about. It's about growing. It's about maturity. It's about getting to a level where you understand who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing it. Yeah, that's key. Why? Your why. I know it's a lot of people that aspire to go higher. And the question is why? Just because? Nah. It's something that's inside you that's driving you. But sometimes we get stuck because we have a great plan. We have a great idea, but we get stuck somewhere in the middle. We get stuck somewhere in the middle. And I think that's because we don't fully believe in ourselves. And one of the reasons why we don't fully believe in ourselves is because we've been taught and trained to believe in something or someone other than ourselves. Now, for many people, that could be a higher power that's considered outside of yourself, which confuses your mind when you're trying to believe in yourself. It causes you to have a low self-esteem about yourself. You don't esteem yourself as highly, or you don't think of yourself as highly as you should, because you want to give all the power to something that's outside of you. This is what stops you from believing in yourself. It's easy to believe in it's easy to believe in something else that's outside of you that you can't see. Because whether they do what they're supposed to do or not, it's not in your hands anyway. But in order for you to believe in yourself, then you have to look at yourself in the mirror every day and say, why didn't I do what I said I wanted to do? And I don't have nobody else to blame but me. That's hard. That's hard. It's hard to believe in yourself. But if you want to get gangster with it, that's what you need to do. You need to believe in yourself, because that's who is going to get the job done, is you. But I'm here to say that you don't have to do it alone. You got people like me and the people that's in this community and people that I'm connected with and those that want to go higher to help you. And the people that I bring on the show are people who can lend some knowledge and advice to you for where you want to go. One of my skills that I have is that I'm a certified professional and personal life coach. And I use some of those skills when in everyday conversation talking to people to get them to understand that they can have what they want on their terms. Because you are the one who sets the parameters for what you will and what you won't do. But sometimes it's about changing your mindset about how can you achieve it. And I'm not here telling you that you have to quit what you're doing right now and start something brand new tomorrow. But you can set a plan to get to where you want to go. That's growth. How do you grow your mind? You have to add things to your mind. If you have a belief system, understand first and foremost, let's start with what we do have. You do have a belief system. Well, where did that belief system come from? Analyze the belief system that you already have before you go get another one. Before you get another idea about finances, before you get a different idea about relationships, before you get a different idea about religion, before you get a different idea about who you are and why you're here, analyze the things that you have now, the relationships that you have now, the ideas that you have now, the finances that you have now, the belief system that you have now. Analyze your current situation. Analyze that and say, what do I have? Look at it inside and out. Where did it come from? Why do I believe this? Why do I operate this way? Ask yourself that simple question, why? Once you start asking yourself why, you will start finding out that some things make sense and some things don't. But one thing I guarantee that you will do is you will get the answer. If you ask yourself, why do I believe what I believe? Why do I think this way? Where did this thought process come from? And where did they get it from? And where did they get it from? And where did they get it from? This is how you get to the root. This is how you get to the core of matters. This is how you dig into who you are. Is asking why and where did it come from? Why and where did it come from? Keep asking yourself those questions over and over again about the current belief system that you have. Now, once you have that figured out, now let's look at the belief system that you want. How do you want to look at yourself? And look at how you look at yourself right now, and how do you want to look at yourself? Write it down on a piece of paper. How do I see myself right now? And be real. And this is one of the hardest things that we have to do is be real with ourselves. How do I see myself right now today? Am I successful? Am I in the position that I want to be in? Am I doing the things that I want to do? Do I have the relationships that I want to have? Do I have the finances that I want to have? Is the God that I'm worshiping, serving, believing in, serving me the way that I want them to serve me? Is that happening in your life? Write it down. Step number 2. What is the way that you want to see yourself? Do you want to see yourself in a better financial position? Do you want to see yourself in better relationships? Do you want to see yourself serving a God or having a God serve you? I'll put it that way. How do you want it to be? And can it, and the third question is, can it be that way? And my answer to you is yes. It can be. It can be. Because you design your own life. You have that power. And this is what we need to understand, is that we have this power within ourselves to develop our life the way we want it. We've done it already. The position that you are in right now is the position that you put yourself in. You put yourself there by the way that you think. You put yourself in the position that you're in right now by the way that you think. Now, if you want to change your position in life, you have to change the way you think. I'm going to let that sink in. If you want to change your position in life, you have to change the way you think. Your life is not contingent upon somebody else. Your life is contingent upon you. You make the decisions. You make the rules. What you will and will not. What you can and can't. There's no police out there saying you can't do this, you can't do that. The only person that tells you that you can't is you. So what you need to stop doing is stop telling yourself that you can't and tell yourself that you can. You need to grow up. You need to grow up. Yeah. You need to grow up. This is Ray the Motivator right here on the Razor Wire for those that aspire to go higher. And I'm just dropping nuggets on people who want to take their life to another level. You got to grow up. Age does not equal maturity. Age is just a sign of living. If you living, you're going to age. But you could be 99 years old and not be mature. So you got to start adding something to yourself that's going to help you to mature. Stop going in the same circle or same pattern that you've been in and complaining about it. If you want to change something, you got to change something. If you want change to come, you got to change something. And the change starts with you. You got to change yourself. You have the ability to change yourself. You are the sole control of your destiny. You are the master of your fate. Everything is energy. And where energy goes, where your thoughts, where your thoughts go, energy flows. So if you think about poverty, you're attracting poverty to yourself because that's where your thoughts are going. But if you think about taking yourself to a higher level, if you think about higher thoughts, and I'm going to share with you something that a friend of mine by the name of John Wilkie shared with me. He said, if you're going to take a thought, take a positive one. And it just struck me like that. That's just so simple. That's something that we all can do. We all can think a positive thought. We all choose to think. We all choose. We all pick and choose how we're going to think. So if you're going to choose a thought, if you're going to take a thought, take a positive thought and use that. Ask yourself, how can I make this a reality in my life? What does it take? Break it down. And this is what we talk about, setting goals, making decisions, and having a plan to get to where you want to go. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. We already know what we want. We already know that. We know what we want. We just may not know how to get it. Well, it takes some time to sit down and plan it out. I told you to write some things down. Write down where you are right now and write down where you want to be. That's a easy one step. Now, filling in the gap is, how do I get there? Answer the question. Just answer the questions. And if you don't know, you can always research. And this is what I'm talking about, grow up. You can grow yourself to the point that you can bridge that gap. You can grow yourself to that point from where you are to where you want to be. You can grow yourself to fill in that gap. So you grow yourself by getting the information, the I don't knows. You get the I don't knows. You find out what the I don't knows are. You answer those questions. Now you know how you go from here to here. It's no excuse. There's no excuse. There's no excuse because there's so much information available at your fingertips that there is nothing that you can't find out or figure out. So, but having the information is one thing. Applying the information is something else. Applying the information is going to take some will and some fortitude and some effort on your part. It's some things that you're going to have to discipline yourself to. Another good friend of mine, Daryl Stinson, he said that when he's going after something, he doesn't look at the things that he's giving up. He doesn't look at making sacrifices. What he looks at is what he's gaining through the process. Because a lot of us, we may not have a lot of things to begin with. But you can. And so that's the reason why we don't want to give things up, because we don't have a lot to start with. But look at what you're gaining over the process. Look what you're gaining over the process. You're not giving something up. You're gaining something. This is how you grow. And that's what we're talking about here on the Razor Wire. You got to grow up. Age does not equal maturity. It just means that you're living and you're getting older. But maturity means that you have some wisdom about how to navigate through this world. And there's something that you do intentionally. It's something that you do on purpose. You add to yourself on purpose, intentional. You don't just go through life and let whatever happens happen. You make things happen. You have that ability to make things happen. It's in your power. It's in your power. What's going on, Mr. White? I thank you for joining me. This is your host, Ray, the motivator on the Razor Wire. If you want to call in, the number is 323-642-1165. And we're talking about growth. How to grow, how to add to yourself in order to get to where you want to be in life. You have to grow. You have to grow in knowledge. You have to grow in a belief in yourself. And sometimes that is so difficult to believe in ourselves. We so much want to give to others, but we don't give to ourselves. But just think how much better you would be if you gave to yourself. Because everything that you give to yourself, you can give to somebody else. That's what I'm doing right now. The information that I have studied and gathered over the last couple years is what brought me to this point to want to share it with somebody else. Because it made me it made me better by believing in myself. You know, a lot of times we want to see the finished product before we believe, but that's not how it works. You gotta believe. You gotta believe it in your mind first. That's where everything starts. It starts in your mind. You're gonna hear me say this over and over and over again. Everything starts in your mind. Everything. Before there was a television, it was a television in somebody's mind. Before it was in somebody's living room. Before it was a cell phone up to somebody's ear, it was a cell phone in somebody's mind. So how do you see yourself in your own mind? Because how you see yourself in your own mind is how you will appear in reality. Just like the television, just like the cell phone. How you appear in your own mind is how you will appear in reality. Let that sink in. So what do we need to do? We need to develop how we see ourselves. We need to develop how we see ourselves. Do you see yourself as the sole control of your destiny, the master of your fate? Do you see yourself as in control of your life? And if not, why not? Why don't you see yourself in control? Write this down. Write it down. I don't see myself in control because of XYZ factor. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do to change that. Can we change the factors? And I believe that we can. I believe wholeheartedly and honestly and earnestly that we can. Is it going to take some work? Is it going to take some effort? Yes. But you spending work and you putting in work and you doing it and you using your effort right now for what? To maintain a low position or a low picture of yourself in your mind, because that's what you do when you continually and repetitively tell yourself the same story over and over and over again. Is that you perpetuate this reality of you not winning, of you being at the bottom of the totem pole, of you being last in line, that somebody else deserves it more than you deserve it. And the person who you think deserves it more than you deserve it, they think to themselves, I deserve it more than that person. But you got to put yourself in a position and say, I deserve it just like anybody else. And I'm not giving up my spot because I deserve it. Because I deserve it. You got to put yourself in a position where you consider yourself worthy of being number one. And if you don't think you are worthy of being the number one spot, analyze that. Why is it that you don't think you should be number one? What does number one look like? What does the number one placeholder look like in your mind? Does that person even look like you? And if not, you should redefine what number one looks like and put yourself in that position. Put yourself in that position. Number one looks like me. I look like number one. This is what number one looks like. If in case ain't nobody ever seen it before, this is what number one looks like. Smart, intelligent, positive, good sense of humor, good looking. That's what number one looks like. Program yourself. Program yourself to think highly of yourself. Grow up. You don't have to think the same way you thought for the last 30 years. Grow up and become who you want to be in this world. Become who you want to be. Add knowledge to yourself. It's all about conditioning your mind, because that's where everything starts. It's all about conditioning your mind. Your mind is being conditioned every single day. But are you taking ownership of your own mind? Do you own your own mind, or is somebody else controlling it? Now, if you got a good program going, by all means, rock with it. If it's working for you, work it. But if you looking to go higher, if you're looking to change something, if you're looking to tweak something, it's simple. You got to take a little pause in what you're doing and ask yourself some questions. Where am I right now, and where do I want to go? And then we got to fill in the gaps. Where am I right now, and where do I want to go? There's nothing that's stopping you from getting there. Because, and if there is, if you think there's something that's stopping you, that's just the obstacle that you need to overcome. There's nothing that you can't overcome. If you're driving down the freeway and there's construction, that's not going to stop you that's not going to stop you from getting to where you want to go. You're going to just be rerouted. But you're still going to end up at your destination. Now, when you go out your way, when you take the detour, yeah, you might have to get some more gas. You might end up with a flat tire if you go down a road with a lot of potholes. It might be some pit stops along the way, but you're still going to get there. It's just a detour, just another obstacle that you have to overcome. Obstacles don't stop you. They just build you better for the terrain that you're crossing. So now, once you get to the next level that you're trying to get to, and you satisfied at that, and then you want to go to another plateau that's higher than that, you've already overcome obstacles, and you already know what it takes to overcome those obstacles. So you got that built into your program. You got obstacle overcoming built into your program. So you already got the tools that you need to overcome the obstacles built in. Don't act like we ain't never overcame no obstacles. Every day we overcome an obstacle. every single day. It's a mindset. But we got to have tools. And your mind is the greatest tool that you can have. You know, when you take this tool and you develop it and you understand its power, your mind is like a magnet. And it can transmit and it can receive. It transmits thoughts and it receives thoughts. When I put a question out into the universe from my mind, I'm transmitting a thought. And a thought is just as real and as tangible as a television set or a cell phone. It transmits and it goes out and it seeks the answer. And when it finds the answer, it brings it back to me. I receive it. This is what we have to do. We have to open up our minds to the point where we can transmit and receive information. Sometimes it comes through books. Sometimes it comes through people. And yes, it can come through a television program. But sometimes it just comes through the ether. Sometimes it just comes through the spirit. This is what we have to understand, that we are not just physical human beings, which is another level of growth. It's understanding the totality of yourself. You're not just a physical human being. You have a spirit that's inside you that has more power, way more power than your physical body. Your physical body is limited to time, to space. It needs food. But your spirit is not limited by time. It's not limited by space. Your spirit can go anywhere and be anywhere, just like God. It's a spirit. There's nowhere that it can't go. There's no information that it can't receive. There's no knowledge that it can't find out. It's just your physical body is limited. Your physical body is limited in the places it can go and the things that it can do. But if we use our spirit, then we can move our physical body to the places that we want it to be in. Hear that again. If we use our spirit, we can move our physical bodies into the place that we want to be in. See, they got to work together. See, we got to grow up. We can't work against ourselves. We got to work for ourselves together. Body, soul, spirit, mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and soul. Put it all together. This is how you grow up. It's something that's already inside you. It's desires that's inside you. And some of us, we let our desires wither away and die because we don't see them physically. Or we have mental blocks that stop us from pursuing these dreams, from attaining these goals. And some of it's a lack of knowledge. But that should never be an excuse because there's too much information out here to stop us. This is your host, Ray, the motivator, and I'm just so happy to have you all here with us on the razor wire for those that aspire to go higher. I see we got people in the chat room. What's going on, Mr. White? You all right? Just aspiring to go higher over here. That's what we do. That's what we do. I got some guests that's coming on in the near future that gonna really help you see what I'm saying. People who have made this adjustment, who have transformed their life, who are living their dreams. Just if you missed the last show, I had Shine Time Money on here, a young hip hop artist that is blowing up. You got to check his album out, Been Ruined. Living. People are living. We see it every day. People are living the life that they want to live because they went for it. They took a chance. You got to take a chance. If you're going to take a chance, take a chance on yourself. But believe in yourself. We believe in in the system that's already set up. We believe that if we go work for a company, that they come pay us. Put that much stock in yourself. Put that much faith in yourself. See, that should be a check for you right there. Do you believe more in somebody else than you do in yourself? And if so, why? Why do you believe more in them than you believe in yourself? You believe in, and I'll tell you this, you believe enough in yourself that if you get yourself into this position, that you'll be rewarded from it. You believe that you have the ability to accomplish that task that somebody else set up for you, and that you have the capability to accomplish it. Now, if you can do it for somebody else, you can do it for yourself. I put that on everything. If you could do it for somebody else, you can do it for yourself. It's a system. The world is made up of systems. It's a system for everything. It's a system for education. It's a system for eating. It's a system for sanitation. And evidently that system for sanitation is breaking down because we got the coronavirus running rampant. So wash your hands. I'm joking, but I'm serious. Everything is part of a system. And what part of that system are you playing? And what part of that system is playing you? Are you being played by the system, or are you playing in the system? This system that we call life. It's many facets and many aspects. Life is like a diamond. It has many facets, many faces, many avenues. Which one are you choosing? Or are you just being played? Are you being pushed in one corner and saying this is where you're going to play and you can't play nowhere else? Now, I don't believe that. I believe that you can play anywhere that you want to play. Do anything that you want to do. It's called freedom. You are free to choose how you move, how you operate. Choose wisely. That's why you got to grow up, so you can learn what is a wise choice, what's a wise decision. Serve yourself, suit yourself. Stop playing by the rules that were designed for you to lose. This is your host, Ray, the motivator, and I'm just telling you to grow up. Life is short. Live it to the best of your ability. Enhance your ability to live it even better. Be greater. All you got is right now. So don't look at how old you are. Don't look at how young you are. Because all you have is right now, this very moment. And when you start to become present with yourself, then you can understand what it is that you're doing. What am I doing? How am I living my life? And why am I living my life this way? Can I live it differently? You got to just take a little bit of time. You know, life will rush you if you let it. But it's up to you to sit down and think. How can you take control of your life? I got a comment coming in on a blog talk. Let me read it. Peace, fam. I'm making a lot of moves on various projects, and so I'm networking hard to make connections that are going to facilitate such. Hit me up to discuss potential business between us. I'm Ed. Yeah, Ed, I'm going to holler at you. We'll be discussing business connections in relation to social topics you speak on, as well as one of my projects at WWW Team Pro. We'll break it all down when you get around to calling me. See, that's what I'm talking about. Making connections. See, that's what the razor wire is for. It's for making connections. It's for making connections. Let me let Ed know. It's about making connections to get where you want to go. People are a vital resource in what we're doing in life. You can't do it all by yourself. You need people. Please believe it. Nobody came into this world alone, because you had to have somebody help for you to get here. So there's nothing that you've done all by yourself. If you was born, then you had to have a woman there to birth you into this world. So you started off with some help, and you should end it with some help. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. You just got to learn how to connect the dots. And some dots you need to disconnect because it's distorting your picture. Some things just don't add up. We know 1 + 1 = 2. 2 + 2 = 4. But some people want to tell you that 7 + 3 = 11. And that ain't right. That ain't right. So take some time. Slow down. Think. Take some time. Don't be in a rush to go, do. Slow down. Proceed with caution. And even when you slow down, it accelerates your life because you go in a direction that you want to go in. You get in your lane. You're not all over the place. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Getting in your lane and maintaining your lane. Yeah. I just had to blast that for y'all one time because that's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling at the moment. That we got to blast off. Got to blast off from this launching pad that we on. You've been primed and prepped all your life for this moment. And now it's here. Well, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to choose to do with the rest of your life? If you want to take yourself to a higher plateau, you got to change your mind. You got to grow up. You got to grow up into who you are. Grow up. It's space in you for you to grow. You are bigger than what you realize, but you got to grow up into that and be it. Be it. Be who you see yourself as. Be who you want to be. Be it. Nobody got there the easy route. They had to take the stairs, and they had to go up every single step. But once you climb those stairs and you at the top, there's nothing that could take you down. Unless you decide that's the route you want to go. But it's on you. It's on you to grow yourself. Grow yourself. Grow yourself up into who you are. It's in your hands. It's in your power. There's nothing that can stop you. Nothing but you. You are the greatest force on this planet. You are. You are. You are. You are. And I'm saying it so you can understand that you are the greatest force on this planet. You are the center of your universe. Many people don't believe that, but you are. You are the center of your universe. Things revolve around you. So just take a moment and think about that. Think about where you are. Think about where you want to go. And let the saga continue. This is your host, Ray, the motivator, on the Razor Wire. For those that aspire to go higher. If you want to be a guest on the show, by all means, you can give me a call. Hit me in the DM. Send me an email. rskates at comcast.net. Google the Razor Wire, RAYZOR. You'll get all the social media, Instagram, Facebook, Wix. And understand that this is for those that aspire to go higher. It's the razor wire. We're cutting through the BS and getting straight down to it. Yeah. On the razor wire. I thank you all for joining me. I got about 10 minutes left in the show. I'm gonna vibe with you a little bit. And I want to remind you, I got those razor wire tees, hot colors, orange, blue, red. Come on. That royal purple. Come on. $15.99. Hit me on Instagram, direct message. I ship them out to you. Shipping is extra. But support the razor wire. We got bigger projects on the horizon. I'm not going to let all the cats out the bag, but understand a new dope version of me is emerging. And I got some things on the horizon for you to show you what I'm talking about. It's not just lip service. We're going to do something. I just wanted to let you know right now. You can listen to me now and believe me later on. People talk a good game, but I know how some people are. They got to see it. So I'm going to bring it to you. Right here. On the razor wire. Yeah. I got my hands in a couple of things. So, Monday, March 16th, you can catch me at the Belleville Hookah Lounge. Me and Lil Buddy Entertainment. I'll be on the ones and twos, providing you with some sounds to keep your head nodding. Yeah. I don't pigeonhole myself in. I give myself options. That's something that you got to learn. Don't pigeonhole yourself in. Keep your options open. Another avenue, another stream. It's all connected. It's all connected. Just because you go down one street don't mean it ain't connected to another. It's all connected. This road connects to that road. Sometimes you might have to get on a boat. Sometimes you might have to get on a plane. But it's all connected. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. We're making connections. Right here on the razor wire. So if you hear something, see something, or want to do something, let me know. And we'll be sure to put it on. Right here on the razor wire. Yeah. I thank you for joining me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is what we do. This is what we do. We aspire to go higher. Yeah. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Share this with a friend. Yeah. Send it to them. Direct message. Share it with them. So they can tap in, tune in, and turn their lights on. This is your host, Ray, the motivator. Here to inspire for those that want to go higher. This show is recorded, so you can always go to blogtalkradio.com/The Razor Wire and hear it again. So, with that being said, I love you. And until the next time, peace. I'm out.